Let me tell you what they do, what they do, what they do to me. Let me tell y'all a story real quick. It's kind of funny, but it show you like who I am and why I am the way I am. Okay? So I had went to a all-white high school. It was a Christian high school, a private school, for 2 years, and then I switched to a predominantly black high school. And a lot of culture shock happened because of that. And because of that, I'll talk to you guys later of how it gave me, or God used it to give me a lot of wisdom about the two different cultures, and even allowed me to learn a lot about my wife before I met her, because I was able to put myself inside of both cultures and understand them both. Okay? I had a lot of bad things that happened to me in a private school. I had a lot of bad things that happened to me in the public school. But I would say they both were good experiences that helped me learn a lot. One of the things that happened to me is private school in an all-white culture was not big on fashion. In fact, I had went to that private school since 5th grade. And so I didn't know anything about how serious black folk took what you wore. Some of y'all know where I'm going with this. So, one day I decided to come to school, and my dad had bought me these. Oh man, it's embarrassing to say. My dad had bought me these shoes. They was called LUGZ. These was some ugly shoes, man. They was some type of sexually confused shoe about being in between a boot and a tennis shoe. And these things look like little bricks that was on your feet. All black. They had like 2 shoestring holes on each side. Didn't even lace all the way up. I didn't care. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm going to wear these lugs to school. Ain't going to be no problem. No. That's not what happened, dude. What happened was I got to school. And you remember in the verse in the Bible, there's this verse in the Bible where I remember when Jesus said he was going to heal the little girl and she was already dead. And he said he went to tell the people, she's not dead, she's just asleep. And it said the people laughed him to scorn. Everybody in my school laughed me to scorn. They roasted the mess out of me. As soon as I came in the homeroom, people was jumping on the ground saying, what is that? What is he doing? Why is he wearing that? If you don't understand anything about public school culture, black public school culture, roasting is the equivalent of being killed with fire. Kill it with fire. That's how they did me. And they roasted the mess out of me. Oh my gosh. To this day, I can't look at LUGZ the same. I be getting flashbacks. They roasted the mess out of me. People still remember it to this day. To this day. They still remember what happened to me when I wore them shoes. I did not understand. Like, back in those days, in the day of the dinosaur, back in those days, if you wore anything but Nike, anything but Air Force Ones, you couldn't even wear K-Swiss. If you wore K-Swiss, they thought you was... If you wore Reeboks, you just couldn't afford Nikes. If you wore Fila, you was a crackhead. For definitely, that was a fact. All these shoes, don't get me started on Paco jeans. You couldn't wear no Paco jeans. And guess who had Paco jeans? But I'm just saying, there was all these unspoken rules about what you could wear, what you couldn't wear. So I got roasted to death. I came back next year. I had worked all summer. I had a job at Wendy's. I worked all summer. I bought me back then, what was in style? Like platinum jeans. I don't know why. Them was ugly. But we was wearing platinum jeans. I bought me some Air Force Ones. I bought the all whites, the all blacks. I had bought a bunch of Pelly Pal was in. I bought some jackets, man. You couldn't tell me nothing because the boy was fresh. Now, when I came in there, guess what happened? I gained a little bit of popularity. People started talking to me more simply because of what I had on. And instead, because my parents built me in character, They had always sat me down and was telling me, you don't be hearing this stuff when you're little, but they had sat me down and was like, Jeremy, that's my real name. Jeremy, you can't be worried about what people say. They always gonna be saying something about you now. No matter what you wear, some people just ain't gonna like you. You gotta take it on the chin and have good character. Go back in there and tell them kids you don't care what they think. The reality is I did care what they think. It did affect me. But something that my parents said that was true is you cannot go through life caring what everybody thinks. Now that built character because I grew resentment at the fact of when I wore the nice clothes, my personality didn't change. That wasn't who I was. I wasn't what I was wearing. But people treated me differently. Girls talked to me differently when I was wearing them nice clothes. People gave me more attention. Oh man, dude, fresh, he cool, he this and that. It wasn't that I was any different. I was wearing different on the outside. One of the things I want to teach my children coming up is clothes don't make you. They won't understand that probably till they get to my age. But one thing it taught me was, as a Christian, as a godly man, people are focused on the outside, but God is focused on the inside. And if you focus and you teach your sons that they got to be fresh, they got to be the cleanest, they got to wear the highest grade stuff. I see these little kids, even coming into church, especially the young men, they want to grow up and their mothers are grooming them to be players. They want them to be the freshest little kids on the block. They want them to have the nicest shoes. What is that going to do when that kid turned 35 and he got 3 different baby mamas because the girls that was attracted to him were the wrong type of women, but he couldn't say no because he thought all in his life that was important was attracting women. He thought being fresh was the most important thing, but he didn't learn no character. Let me tell you something. These little life lessons that I learned, I'm going to be going through more stories like this. Ooh, I got an embarrassing one for y'all. I'm going to tell y'all later. But those little life lessons made me who I am as a man. And if people bring those up, you got to be willing to laugh at yourself. I laugh at myself. If I see my friends from high school, I'll be like, yeah, remember that? That was funny. That's not embarrassing to me anymore. It's things you learn. Those things don't mean anything. Whether you wear LUGZ or Nikes, don't mean anything. But it was the whole world to me back then. So let the whole world to you right now be what's on the inside. What does God care about?